Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the middle of August and another heat wave. Hurrah! You know how much I like the heat. Not at all. Anyway, yeah, the land is struggling. Poor Earth is struggling at the moment, and all the plants. But there you go. We damaged the Earth. We're paying the price. Anyway, good morning, welcome. Good morning, Sue from sunny Sunderland. Very rare for us to get above 30 degrees up here in the northeast, but we did yesterday. Yes, we're due more than 30 today here down south too. Although we were up north last week, which was very exciting. Good morning, Emma. Good morning. If you're watching, do please pop a hello in the comments. And I know there's people watching because I can see you. Well, I can't actually see you. That would be very freaky, looking into your living rooms. Good morning, Claire. Good morning, Xenia. Good morning. It is too hot. Definitely. Yeah, too hot for this one. Yep, absolutely. Good morning, Thistle May. Good morning. Today's theme is tree magic. I will explain where the idea came from in a minute. We'll let everyone rock up first. And sorry, there was a seagull just flew past the window. It distracted me, easily distracted today. I'm blaming everything on the heat. Good morning, Steve. Yes, definitely a hot Friday. Whew. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Kerry and Ebony. Hot and sunny, Clonelly. Yeah, hot and sunny. Done with that now. So huge big thank you to Angela from Phoenix Flames and everyone that Matt and Janet and everyone that joined us last end of last week in Mansfield, Sutton in something. Geography, not good, not mine, no. Yeah, big thank you. We had an absolutely fantastic time. Brilliant stuff. Good morning, Louise. Emma, hope you have something keeping you cool. I have got an air purifier in this room, actually, which is why I'm up here, because it's a bit cooler. I have a fan. This is brilliant. Pete found that. Brownie points to him. Good morning, Lucky Fairy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not actually melted yet. Just got a healthy glow. Had to record some meditations yesterday, and I think I looked like I'd actually melted. But yes, there you go. So yes, we were, Ness, Heather and I went up to Mansfield area last Thursday. We are getting very familiar with service stations now. It was a very long drive, but we gave a talk at the Phoenix Flames Moot on the Thursday evening, which was a blast. If you'd like to see the replay, it was streamed live to Phoenix Flames Facebook page and their TikTok account. So you can see us waffling on about all sorts of stuff and having a bit of a laugh. Then on the Friday, we went to Sherwood Forest. Never been there before, which prompted the theme for today of tree magic. And then on the Friday evening, we did readings at Phoenix Flames for some very, very lovely people. Hats off again to Angela for creating such a fantastic community up there. So all good fun, even though the journey home was quite a lot longer because of traffic. But there you go. Good morning, Cliff. Good morning, Maria. Shopping before it gets too hot. So yeah, good plan. So yes, we went to Sherwood Forest. It was hot. Interesting place. We didn't find Robin Hood, much to Ness's dismay. She was looking for the Robin Hood from the 1980s TV show, I think. But yes, interesting place. Good morning, Mark. Tree magic. Yeah, tree magic's today's theme. Any thoughts on tree magic? Any experiences with tree magic? Pop them in the comments and we will get them going. Sue is 140 miles further north than Mansfield. Ooh, that's I would get a headache being that far north. being a southerner. Good morning, Kimmy. No, we met some really lovely people, I have to say, whether it was service stations, carveries, any of the shops we went into, such lovely people, all very friendly, all very welcoming. But Sherwood Forest has its own little shopping area, lots of artisans and beautifully crafted things in very small, independent but wonderful shops. Yeah, we had a good old poke about in the shops and might have bought some stuff. They were setting up for a Robin Hood festival for the weekend, so it was a little bit busy. But the forest itself, we started on the main path, and because of the weather, everything was dry and dusty, and the whole entrance, for want of a better word, to the forest was a bit fed up, I want to say. We got it was parched. It's really, really struggling with the heat. The pathways were all quite dusty. I think the forest was fed up with people, really. That's the conclusion that we came to. But it was really struggling with the heat. We headed to they've got an ancient oak there, the great oak, which was also very sad. They were worried about it last year, and this year they actually confirmed that it is now dead, which is very sad. Huge, huge oak tree, all supported where it's so old. But what I didn't know, there was a couple of RSPB, Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, stands throughout the forest, and chatting to one of the chaps there. The RSPB look after all of the trees in Sherwood Forest, which is really good to know, because that means they're being looked after very well. And he said about the oak, yes, sadly it has died, but it will stay where it is in situ, because it is home to thousands of different species of animals, insects, all sorts of stuff, birds. Even though it's now dead officially, it's still home to all of these creatures. So they will still look after it, maintain it. But they look after all of the trees in the forest. Big job in this kind of drought, I would imagine. But he was very helpful, very interesting. Cliff, no garden centres, not this time. Service stations, carveries, Phoenix Flames, and Sherwood Forest. That was it this time. And McDonald's, because Loki made us go to McDonald's. I'm blaming him. Yeah. Good morning, Jackie. Yeah, it was an interesting energy when we first entered the wood. Very tired, very struggling. All of the grass was obviously yellow. The trees were okay. Some of the smaller trees looked like they were really, really struggling, but not a lot you can do about that. But yes, very, very okay kind of energy, but tired and parched. So we followed Heather because she has an internal sat-nav, and she chose the Wildwood pathway. There's set pathways all through the forest that are all signposted, so you don't get lost. So she chose the Wildwood one, and we're pottering along. Let's bear in mind that we spent 3 days together 24/7. We even shared a room at the Travel Lodge. It's cheap, it's clean, and we can get a family room with a double bed and 2 singles, so we can literally hang out with each other 24/7. We didn't stop talking the whole time, from the whole journey, the whole weekend to coming home. So we're nattering away, walking through the woods, and Heather stops in her tracks. We stop. Let's go off this way. So we follow, because we do. Heather took us, Heather and Loki, I think they're one and the same now, took us off the main track, literally into the wilds, over a stile, walking along this tiny, weeny little path. 3 times in as many minutes, I got snagged by brambles and had to stop and unhook myself. Twice, Ness got tripped up on a seemingly flat pathway. Interesting. But here's the thing, on this little windy pathway off the beaten track, everything to the left was what we'd experienced already, a bit parched, bit flat. The landscape on our right, deep woodland, lots of ground cover, ferns, brambles, all sorts of things, was lush. And it was buzzing, absolutely buzzing with energy. Left-hand side, right-hand side, fizzing with energy. All sorts of different trees, one great big yew tree standing all on its own, lots of oaks, all of this lush green ground cover. One very, very interesting tree that we called the hag tree, because it literally had a hole right through the middle of it. It looked like a hagstone, but a tree. That one was trying to draw us in. We did not listen. There was a very, very strong energy coming from that side of the wood. Very strong. Like nothing I've ever felt before. Very, very interesting. There were several trees that were just trunks that were quite war-torn. It looked like they'd been struck by lightning. They were quite scorched. They were interesting. And actually, I didn't think about it till we came back. We didn't touch any of the trees. No tree hugging, not even a hand on the tree. That's interesting, because normally that's the first thing that we do. There was so much energy going on in that part of the forest that it was a bit overwhelming, to be honest. So we walked and we stopped and we took photographs. Heather and I took a photograph of one quite interesting tree that was in the distance that had quite interesting bark. Both stood there, took a picture, walked a couple of feet forward, couldn't see it. It disappeared. It was a very magical part of the woodland. Not the main bit, just this particular off the beaten track was very magical. Yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. There was a different time something or other going on there too. Yeah. It was interesting, very interesting, which has sparked today's talk about tree magic. How do you work with trees? Are there any particular trees you work with? How do you work with them? All that kind of thing. All that kind of thing. Louise, been watering the trees down my line and in my village. Nice. Steve, what energy felt like? Well, yeah, energy of two parts in Sherwood Forest. Main part, this off the beaten track bit, very old, very magical. When we came out the other end and rejoined the main path, it was back to meh. So there was something very special about that. We have our own thoughts and theories. We'll see where it takes us. Yes, good morning, Jackie. Yeah, very melty. Louise, we can all make an impact by watering trees down our road lanes. I'm so worried. I think the thing is the trees are faring better than a lot of things. Grass will come back. Don't worry about watering your grass. It will come back. Another interesting thing, actually, where we stayed in the travel lodge, and it was on the edge of a retail park. So yeah, we went from two different things, really. It had a big B&Q and an Aldi and a Subway and stuff. Checked in, dropped our bags and did a walk round of the area like we usually do. But it was all very busy main road all the way around. But we walked around the outside edge of the retail park. And on the main stretch of road, between the retail park and the road, were hedgerows. I have never seen so much stuff in a hedgerow. A forager's delight. There were rose hips, sloes, rowan berries, blackberries, so many blackberries, elderberries. It was literally a smorgasbord of foraging items. Just really very bizarre in all this weather to have this stretch of main road with all of this stuff in the hedgerow. It was Mother Nature doing her abundance thing. It was very bizarre. Bigger trees will manage in this heat. It is the smaller, younger ones that are not well established that are going to struggle. The bigger ones would be fine. Let's get some. Emma, gutted to learn one of our local willow trees by the River Ouse where I live was uprooted. Absolutely gutted because they're beautiful and had lovely energy. It's always really sad when trees are uprooted. It is, plants of any kind. Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Ange. Good morning, Sylvia. Xenia would love a hag tree. There are photos on my Facebook page if you want to have a look. I don't know whether the tree had split and then joined together again, but there was just about that big hole right through the tree. It was very clever. Jane's blackberries have gone mad this year, made 20 pounds of jam so far. Nice. Yeah, there were loads. Didn't pick any of the stuff because it was right by a main road. But yeah, loads of stuff. Loads and loads of stuff. Yeah, so interesting. We had a fab time up there, but very interesting in the forest. We've got a lot to process from that. Sorry, there is a great big seagull sat right outside the window, just preening himself. Yes, so lovely. Sherwood Forest, definitely an interesting place. But we had to go off the beaten track to connect with the energies of it, and they were very powerful. Very powerful. So tree magic, I'm writing a book about it, obviously. Don't hold your breath because it's going to be a long old process. Got a lot of stuff to do. But I think it is very magical. I love working with magical plants and herbs, obviously. Tree magic has a different energy. Trees have a different energy. I think with a lot of the plants and herbs, the connection is instant. The energy is faster paced. That's a terrible grammar, but you know what I mean. I think the plants are quite instant and chatty generally, unless you get a grumpy one. Trees are, the energy's slower. The connection, I think, is slower. Most of them are old. Even if they're younger trees, they're old. So it's definitely a different kind of energy to work with. They do provide a lot of things for you. Twigs, leaves, nuts, berries, seeds, roots, all parts of the tree can be used in magical workings. Most of the time they will gift you what you need. I've never felt the need to lop a branch off of a tree for magical working or pull leaves off a tree. Usually I pick up whatever's lying around on the floor. They are usually quite happy to gift their things, although when we first started through Sherwood, Heather found an enormous oak leaf. It was bigger than my hand. Picked it up, put it in her bag. Halfway round, she was looking for it and it disappeared from her bag, completely disappeared. So obviously that one wasn't meant to come home with us. We did all bring some of the fern home with us, some of the dead fern that we just picked up from the ground, which has got a very strong energy. But yes, trees, I think the energy is different to plants. It is slower. They are elders, no pun intended. They are sages, full of wisdom and knowledge. So I think they kind of function on a bit of a slower communication, if that makes sense. Let's get these up. How do you use trees in spell work? Just as you would plants. So you can use leaves, berries, twigs as ingredients in spell pouches, in witch bottles, in all sorts of things, incense blends, sachet powders, just as you would a herb or a plant ingredient. You can also use the twigs to make the base for smudge sticks. They can be made into wands. So if you've got decent sized twigs, you can make them into wands. Staffs. If you ask nicely, you may be gifted a fallen branch that you can use as a staff or a stang, depending on how it looks. Or you can connect with them. You can connect with them physically by approach the tree, ask it if you can connect with it. It might say no. Sit beneath it, connect with the energies. meditate with it. You can even do that at home if you want to set yourself a grove meditation with the intention of meeting a particular tree or any tree and connecting with the magic of it. That multi-purpose, absolutely multi-purpose. Just be respectful. Hello, go for a walk in the woods next to where I live, but if I sit and close my eyes to meditate, I'm worried if it's lonely, so can't relax to meditate. Lately, please being around for any reason. If you are in the woods on your own, be careful. It is general safety. If you are worried about sitting out in the woods on your own, and that is, take precautions. You can sit at home and set the scene and meditate, or pick up some leaves or twigs and take them home with you and connect with the energy of those while you're at home. It's about being sensible, isn't it? And I've accidentally started a willow tree growing in a pot, just stuck it in for somewhere to put it. It was supposed to be for my drop twigs collection of different woods. Not sure what for yet. Yeah, it happens. I think some quite often, particularly things like elders, self-seed as well, don't they? Willow trees are lovely. Very nice. Very nice. Jane, if old oak trees could talk, what amazing tales they tell. I know, it's like hundreds of years. Imagine what they've seen and heard. Fascinating. Xenia, funnily drawn more to trees than to plants, also for connection and energies. No, I think that is I absolutely understand that. To be fair, I connect more with plants and herbs than trees. I have a bit of a thing. I don't like the really dense forests. I feel quite overwhelmed, quite claustrophobic, I guess. If I'm in a big dense forest, I don't like the energies at all. I am much more of a moorlands, open fields kind of gal. That's where I feel more comfortable. However, Sherwood Forest was a woodland more than a forest. It was quite open. You could still see the sky, even when we were walking in the wilds bit off the beaten track. You could still see the sky. We weren't completely covered overhead by trees. So it was a bit more open and light and bright. So it was more comfortable. But yes, I think there is, because the energies are so different. I totally understand that. Yeah. Good morning, David. Find a love just to connect and chat with the trees. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, hang in there, David. Hang in there. Yeah, I think trees are very different to talk to than plants. But there's so much wisdom there. So much wisdom. Sylvia, from my 14th to my 23rd, I loved a willow tree. Still find pictures of it on the internet, connect with it. Willow is beautiful, beautiful energy. Quite a gentle energy, I think. Willow for me is very much about emotions because it's got such a strong connection to water. Beautiful tree. David, love it when trees decide to move in. That's a good way of putting it. Have a hawthorn now in the front garden. It just turned up and now I get strange looks from people as I chat with them in the mornings. We have a hawthorn in a back garden. Our back garden is a small walled city garden, so we don't have a huge amount of room, but we do have a hawthorn. We do have a rowan, which is struggling with the heat, mainly because it's a fairly young tree and it's not really very well established yet. We have an elder that Heather gave me, a tiny whip of elder a couple of years ago, put it in a pot. Last year we put it in the garden. This year it's making a bid for freedom. I think she is enormous and we're having to keep her in check, but she seems quite happy. Jane, trees have strong parameters. They're generally friendly, but will soon tell you if they don't want a hug right now. Yes, absolutely. And I think that is the etiquette. If you are attracted to a tree and want to make a connection, ask it first before you touch it. Ask for permission. Make sure it is willing to make that connection with you. But to connect, just if it's happy, if you get a positive vibe, sit with your back against it and make that connection. But they all have their different properties, just as plants do, just as flowers do. Trees all have magical properties. Oak, possibly one of the most well-known magical trees, I guess, very much connected to Druidry, but lots of folklore and history about it as well. Sylvia, I find you can draw the energy of a tree that is nearby to you like a little thread and add it to my energy for well wishes. I'm yet to find a spell that would work this way for me, though. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. That's the way to do it. Sounds a little bit Punch and Judy, but yeah. Xenia, trees seem to find us too, running around so fast. At least a tree I connect with told me it stood at a tube station. Oh, what an energy. What an energy. Actually, that's interesting too, isn't it? I do live on the edge of a city. We do have a park just at the bottom of the road with quite a number of trees in, which all seem quite happy. There is a tree literally at the end of my road, a silver birch. It's kind of a barometer for the weather and the seasons, because whenever you step out the front door, you can see it. And by looking at it, you know what season it is, what time of the year it is. It is a few of them spaced evenly down the road. But they're city trees, so possibly not going to be as happy as a tree in a forest. I don't know. They all seem fairly okay with it. They get quite well looked after by the council. So they all seem, quite happy. So I think even if you are in a city, you can often find trees. But yeah, well, tree by a tube station. Imagine what that's seen and heard. Wow. Jackie, trees speak to me rather than me speaking to them. The first instance was a yew, and they always talk to me more than any other. The yew is a fascinating tree, very much the cycles of life, death, rebirth, that kind of thing, the whole otherworldly type tree. I have a wand that's made of a yew root, and it is very underworld energies. Actually, we did in this huge forest, mostly oak trees, one great big yew tree in the magical bit, obviously, standing all on its own. The only one we saw in the entire forest. Very unusual. Find them yew trees quite a lot in churchyards. Fascinating trees. Cliff, on my lunchtime walk at work, I walk through some woodlands and head for a certain old oak tree. I spend a couple of minutes with it, touch and exchange energies. It refreshes me and clears the mind. It gives me a boost for the rest of the day. Perfect. Perfect. Louise, any deities connected to trees? Specifically, don't know. Anyone got any thoughts on that one? I'm sure there are. There's a lot of folklore stories. My head's gone empty. Yeah, there are some that are specifically to trees. I mean, all the horned gods and god Ellen, horned goddess, very much forests, trackways, woodlands. You've got Herd and Hunter, Sununos, any of the horned god kind of things as well, I think. But specifically, I don't know as I've worked with any particularly that I associate with trees. If anyone's got any ideas, pop it in the comments. The interesting thing for me, and the thing that I do tend to work more with, are the spirits of the trees. So trees generally have, it's a Greek word, but dryad. So although the tree will have its own personality, it will have its own energy, its own characteristics, you will often find a dryad resides within the tree. This spirit is a nature spirit, can leave the tree for short distances and come back to it, but they are totally linked with it from birth to death. And that's an interesting energy to work with as well, which is what I tend to work with more with trees rather than deities. But yeah, there must be some. It's hot. My brain's not working. And don't tell my husband, but I don't know everything. Cecilia, find oak so comforting and protecting, like a benevolent good king. That is a very good description. Very good description. Tina, we had an oak in our front garden where I used to live and a willow in the house opposite. They would intertwine at the top before the neighbour would hack the willow right back. So sad. It's always sad when trees get lopped, but I think it's also sometimes they have to be managed, like the elder in our back garden. She is beautiful, and we're lifting her crown so that she does become a beautiful tree rather than a hedge, because their garden's so small. So we do have to maintain her. I do have a bit of a chat with her. We're just going to take, a bit of trimming to make you look beautiful. Sometimes it has to be done. Jane, I love to put my ear to a tree and listen to the sap sloshing and making talking sounds like a heartbeat. They do have heartbeats, don't they? Yes, especially if it's windy and the boughs are bending and creaking. It's like being on an old ship. I must admit, when we were in Sherwood Forest, it was so hot. There was no breeze. It was very quiet, particularly quiet in the magical bit. No birds singing either. And reminds me of Treebeard getting exasperated with hobbits trying to hurry him along. Yes, that is it. That is it. Tolkien understood nature and spirits and elves and all of that stuff. Yes, absolutely. That to me is how a tree works. It's, young whippersnappers. Senia, the tree at the tube station seemed to mildly smile and wondering about our small, fast-running beings. It seemed not unhappy or suffering. It's a healthy tree. Brilliant. I think it is. I think they work on a slightly different time frame to us. So, yeah, it must be like watching ants rushing around. Very strange. Green man looks like a face for a tree. Don't know who the green man yet. Still learning. The green man is an interesting spirit. I'm not going to call him a deity because I think he is more of a spirit of nature. I think he's possibly more modern than we think he is too. But you will find him in old churches as well, which is also interesting. He is, for me, the spirit of nature. You'll sometimes find the green woman too, images of her as well. Definitely the spirit of nature. Jane, there's a big old cedar tree outside a manor house where I used to go to circle meetings. It was known as the hanging tree. Must be lots of desperate and sad energy attached to it. Yes, I would imagine so with that kind of history. I think that's the interesting thing. If you do have trees in your area, get to know them. I think if you're going to work with tree magic, that is a starting point. Walk your local area and get to know the trees in your area, what type they are, how they grow, what seeds, berries, fruit they might have, what the leaves look like, what the bark looks like. Make that connection, get to know them, because the ones in your local area are going to have a stronger connection to you as well for your magical working, as well as connection to you for guidance, support, whatever it might be. Yeah, absolutely get to know your local trees. There are some trees that you'll only find in specific countries. So I think if you are going to start with tree magic, start with what's local to you. It just makes more sense to me. David, we blessed with a park right outside the front with the River Loddon. Perfect. Those guys have some stories to tell if you listen to them. Never judgment, I find. Trees have a habit of letting things go easily. Do you think it's because they are so old that they just can't be doing with any of the messing about? It's like, seen it all before. Seen it all happen. Yeah. Not worth worrying about. Yeah, I get that. David, oak is connected to Thor. Now that is an interesting one, because the trees that we saw in Sherwood Forest, and there were a number of them that were just trunks that were scorched and charred, that looked like they'd been hit by lightning. Very much the energy of Thor. Yes, definitely. Freya with birch. Yeah, that makes sense too. That does make sense too. If you work with the runes, you will know that some of the runes are connected to trees. Ash, oak, yew, birch. If you work with the ogham, which Heather does, Ness works with rune, Heather works with ogham. The ogham is all about trees with a couple of odd ones thrown in there. That is literally tree alphabet, each one associated with a tree. So that's another area to investigate. If you're really interested in tree magic, do have a look at the ogham, O-G-H-A-M or O-G-A-M, depending on how you spell it, ogham or ogham, depending on how you pronounce it. That's definitely worth a look at. If you're a student of Kitchen Witch school, we have got an ogham branch class. We've got a rune branch class as well. Yeah, that's definitely worth looking at if you are interested in tree magic. Xenia, what I find fascinating about willow trees, if they fall, they build new roots from the fallen trunk that touches the earth. They're clever, aren't they? They are very clever. Bit like the elder whip, basically, that Heather gave me. It was literally, one little thing, stuck it in the earth. Fine, all done. Like ants. Yeah, I do. I imagine the trees seeing everyone rushing into the tube station. It's like, oh, look at all those annoying ants. Well, let's face it, humans are an infestation on the planet, aren't we? Jackie, we're going to go on a local tree walk with a fabulous guide who wants to move to meet the trees. Fingers crossed. Oh, exchanging contracts today. Positive energy for you, Jackie. Yeah, I think local trees are interesting and best to connect with because it gives you a sense as well of the spirit of place where you are. Folklore as well. There'll be loads of folklore about trees, loads and loads. It's all fascinating to learn, particularly in your local area. Louise, has your new practice led you to any new plants, herbs, trees? Not new ones, but we're discarding old ones. We'd already found last year that we were getting rid of a lot of plants that weren't native to England. We were working a lot more. That's why we set up the herbarium and did the herbarium oracle deck. Any students of the school, you will now have access to the herbarium, which Heather and Ness have put together from all plants that we found while we were out foraging. Well, when they've been out foraging mostly. All plants, weeds, native plants, wildflower plants that are grown locally. So we'd already kind of narrowed it down a bit. We're now narrowing it down even further, I think. Mugwort is featuring very heavily, yarrow as well. Yeah, it's interesting. It's the herb cupboard is getting smaller. Trees, not so much yet, but yes, definitely plants and herbs are more specifically to the local area and native to England as well. Good morning, Lani. Good morning, Xenia. As for the yew, where the branches touch the earth, it builds new yew trees and on and on. No one knows how old some yew trees' groves really are, maybe thousands of years old. Yeah, the oaks as well. They live for such a long time. There are some in here. And yes, I'm writing a book about trees, but there are some in here. Let's go to oak first. Oak. Oh, yeah, loads and loads of folklore about oak trees. It was considered lucky to be married under an oak tree. Oak trees were used as meeting places where laws were passed and declarations read out to the public. It is a sacred tree to the Druids. Oak leaf symbol is one of strength and used to appear on coins in England before the lion took over. The acorn is a symbol of strength, power, and vitality. If you work with modern Wicca, the holly is in the form of the Holly King, rules the first half of the year until midsummer, and then he's replaced by the oak as the Oak King, who rules the second half of the year. King Arthur's round table was said to be made from a solid piece of oak. It has been used to build houses, cathedrals, ships, furniture, barrels, and its bark is used for tanning leather. It provides dyes. The acorns are fed to pigs and can also be used as a coffee substitute. The acorns, not the pig. I have tried acorn coffee. It's disgusting. The galls or the oak apples can be used to make ink. The wood can be used on fires and to make charcoal, and the tree provides a favourite home for good old mistletoe. Provides shelter for insects, birds, animals, and outlaws such as Robin Hood and Charles II. It is a provider and a protector. It has such a long history and so much folklore. Definitely a very, very magical one. So oak is healing, health, protection, money, fertility, luck, strength, vitality, power. It's a fire and water element that it's ruled by, and its planet, Sun, Jupiter, and Mars. So it's quite a multi-purpose one too. Jane, we passed a big old oak recently that had a fence around it to stop people bothering the roots. Never heard of this before, have you? Talking to the RSPB man at Sherwood Forest, they are looking after the oaks specifically. They have a habit of splitting, apparently. So quite a few of the oaks that we saw had bands around them to keep the trunk together to make them stronger. The only time I've seen fences is on young trees to stop the rabbits and the deer from eating them. But I guess, if people are people, aren't they? It's probably a protection for the whole entire tree rather than just the roots to stop people being ignorant whatsits, I would imagine. But no, not heard of that. So let's have a look at you. Sad that trees have to be protected from human beings. Here we go. Yeah, death and rebirth often found in graveyards. The yew tree is a reminder that although death occurs, it opens up a door for rebirth and renewal. Another one sacred to druids, and yew tree groves were planted by ancient burial mounds and sacred sites. It's a winter solstice tree standing between the two worlds, the tree of death and the tree of life. It is said the yew tree marks an entrance to the underworld. Working with yew can open you up to transformation and connect you with your ancestors and the knowledge that they have for you. It can also be used to help with astral travel. Used in workings where the past needs to be released so that forward action can be achieved. A lot of the parts of the tree are poisonous, so do be mindful. Makes lovely runes and wands. And it corresponds to the crone aspect of the goddess, which I absolutely agree with, should do, because I wrote the book. But yes, for me, the yew is very much a crone energy tree. So the yew is death and rebirth, transformation, astral travel, ancient knowledge, and knowledge in general, ruled by Saturn and Mercury, and it is another one that's water and earth element. Very, very fascinating and magical tree. What was the other one that's been mentioned? Willow, wasn't it? The willow tree. Found on riverbanks, hedgerows. Yeah, jam-packed full of emotions. Definitely an emotion tree. Element of water, absolutely. And it's ruled by the moon as well. So the wood of the willow tree is very versatile. This is the wood that you would use for making wicker baskets, clogs, just in case you wanted a pair of clogs, cricket bats, and charcoal. And one time was even used to make gunpowder. Interesting. Young, flexible branches of the willow can be plaited together to make small besoms for cleaning and sweeping rituals, or even into witches' ladders for spell work. I have done that with the very young bendy branches. You can also use the bendy branches for knot magic. Fascinating tree. Beautiful the way that it grows. And it is love, protection, healing, cleansing, wishes, release, inspiration, intuition. Ruled by the moon, sign of Pisces, and the element of water. You couldn't get much more watery, really. Again, bad grammar. Come across a lot of young trees with fences around them. There's some not nice people out there. Yeah, I think it is sadly to protect the trees from humans being idiots. Yeah. Someone found a green man carved into a tree whilst camping. My first thoughts was, I wonder if the tree wanted that. Oh, yes. Please don't carve into trees. I know you won't. But yeah, why? Why do people feel that the need to do that? And the fact that a green man was carved into it would lead you to believe that it was someone of pagan leaning, and they should know better. It's a bit like, it's a big subject, and I won't rant about it, but don't tie things to trees. Even if it's biodegradable ribbon, string, twine, whatever, don't tie it to the tree, because it will restrict the growth and it will cause disease in the tree. Just don't do it. The end. Mark, we have an ancient mulberry tree. Nice. Fence around this out to the branch edges. It's to stop the ground being compacted by people walking on it. Okay, the older trees can struggle with compacted ground. Like us, when we get old, they'd like to have an easier time. Thank you for that, Mark. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Fascinating tree. The holy thorn in Glastonbury is an interesting one. Oh, yeah, a few bits of story and folklore about that one, and how many times it's been deaded and replanted, and people doing horrible things to it as well. Yeah, but I think there are specific trees that do have histories, like the great oak in Sherwood Forest. There is another one in Windsor Great Park, which is linked to Herne Hunter. Folklore and stories around all these great big trees. Yeah, brilliant. Of course, we haven't touched on fruiting trees. So apple tree is a very magical tree, linked to Avalon, the other world, love magic, but all sorts, plum trees and anything really, nut trees, hazelnuts, walnuts, all kinds of fruiting trees that all have magic. One thing about bark, now we did come home with some fern from under the trees from Sherwood Forest, and they were dead pieces left on the ground. We did find, or Heather found, some bark that had fallen. It was on the ground, very small pieces, and we did check there were no insects inside of it. Interestingly, my piece never appeared when I got home. Somewhere between Sherwood Forest and here, which is, about 4.5 hours drive away, my piece of bark went missing. So it obviously wasn't meant to come home with me. But I did carry it around the forest for a bit. If you are looking to use bark, don't peel it off the tree. Please look for fallen bark, and please make sure that it's not home to lots of insects before you take it. But bark is really interesting to work with, particularly something like silver birch. If you've got a nice big piece of it, you can use it for writing on. But it is magical stuff, bark. But anything, whether it is just a leaf from the tree, will carry the same magic. Bark, twigs, nuts, leaves, it'll all have the magic of the tree within it. So you can work with that. Take it home, connect with the energy, make it into whatever you want to make it into. What other trees haven't we? Oh, elder. Let's do elder, because she's growing very nicely in the garden. I say she. The elder has an elder mother attached to it. She is very feisty. I would not argue with her. A bit like Heather. Wouldn't argue with her either. Elderberries, obviously. Elderflowers, elderberries. It is a medicine chest within one tree. Excellent ingredient used in healing spell work. The stem was said to have been used by Prometheus to bring fire to man from the gods. It is a fairy tree. It does self-seed all over the place. Do not cut the elder down without asking permission from the elder mother first. Preferably don't cut trees down at all, but it's a bit of a dilemma with the elder. It has been called a tree of life, but it's also been called a tree of the devil. It was needed for its medicinal properties, but also feared to be a witch's plant. Sometimes you can't win. Witches were said at one time to be able to turn themselves into elder trees. Give that a try. Let me know how you get on. It's another one of death, rebirth, and reincarnation, like the yew, but very much good for healing. Ness makes elderberry rob, which is very yummy. You can elderflower tonic, elderflower water, obviously, cordial, that kind of stuff. If you are going to faff about and make stuff, I don't. I just hope that Heather and Ness give me whatever they're making. Elder is protection, healing, fairies, purification, intuition, exorcism, hex breaking, and rebirth, ruled by Venus and the element of water. Fascinating tree to work with. And if you are growing it, you get so much from it. All the big green leaves, obviously, and it grows like a loony, but flowers, and then you get the berries. So it's usually got something going on with it. Sylvia. It's full apple trees in my garden and neighbours' gardens. I've one right in front of my lounge and bedroom, and now understand why the elementals are here so much. I knew the land was magical, but never realised it with the type of trees. Oh, apples, yeah, absolutely a magical tree. David, favourite tree spirit, the apple tree, Mr. Apple Tree. I love Mr. Apple Tree. Whenever I feel down or need a chat, I find I enjoy their take on things. Yeah, and always enlightening. I think apples are very, very magical. Have we got apple in here or is it in the food one? Let's have a look. Yeah, it's in this one. It's in the food one. I do remember some of this stuff if I work a lot with them, but yeah, there's only so much space in my brain. Apple. Lovely wood for wand making. I do have an apple wood wand that I use. It's got silver bells on it, so it works for. I use it for my Avalon magic. Linked to autumn equinox and Samhain. Apple is excellent for love spell workings, also for healing. Apple is a portal into the other realms, allows us to gain clarity and knowledge, and a symbol of abundance. Connected with the mysteries of Avalon and the Avalonian deities. There you go. That was a question earlier about goddesses and trees. Apple, definitely Avalon deities. Apples are also considered food of the dead, so they are excellent to use in spirit work. And of course, apple pie is delicious. Just throw that in there. Apple, love, healing, clarity, knowledge, abundance, spirit work. Ruled by Venus, element of water. Just remembered I've got some apples. I'm going to make apple pie today, just so you know. Jane, my elder tree has been very generous this year. Got enough dried flowers and frozen berries to make a gallon each of elderflower wine and elderberry port. Once the heat wave's over. Too hot to brew at the moment. Yes, the ferment will keep stalling in this heat. Yeah, it's too hot to do anything much. Jane, the Bramley tree on the A12 has had a complete rest this year, not a single apple. I think it is. I think we're going to find there's a lot of produce that will struggle this year. I know some of the farmers are struggling. You would think with the sunshine, things like hay making and stuff like that, brilliant. Produce is really going to struggle with this heat wave. We're going to see a few things missing from our shelves, I think. Cider. Yes, cider. Do you like a bit of cider? The nectar of the Avalonian gods, perhaps. What other trees have we mentioned that I haven't gone through? I'm trying to think of here. Oh, hawthorn. Not in that one. Hawthorn. We do have hawthorn in our garden. It was new to us this year, so it hasn't really established, so it is struggling with the heat. It's not alone there. Right, hawthorn. Generally a hedgerow plant. It likes poor soil. White flowers in spring, red berries in autumn. It has got spiky thorns though. Associated with easing heart complaints, so it works very well with love workings and spells as well. It is a tree of the fairy, gateway to the world of fairy. Mayday circlets are often made of hawthorn, so it's got strong fertility properties, very strong protection properties as well, particularly for your home. Purification as well. Add hawthorn berries to your floor wash to purify the house. It's also good for workings where you require forgiveness. Happiness, fertility, love, protection, purification, forgiveness, fairies, hope, ruled by Mars and Venus and the element of fire. Very, very magical one, that one. What's the other tree we've got? Rowan. We saw lots of rowan berries on the trees in the hedgerows last week. Mine is struggling. It doesn't have berries because, again, it's a fairly new one and it hasn't really established and the heat's just attacking it. Flowers in summer, followed by red-orange berries in August and September. Druids would plant rowan trees near their groves and stone circles for protection against negative energies. Rowan twigs were carried to ward against sorcery and evil and placed around milk churns to protect against theft. It has a strong protective energy, but also one of empowerment. It can help you connect with your inner being, the universe, and the web of life all around us. Bringing rowan twigs and berries into your home brings protection and also success, love, and a stronger spiritual connection. Rowan branches make good dowsing rods to help divine, and it makes an excellent healing wand. Solitary rowan trees are believed to be fairy trees. Psychic powers: power, success, protection, love, spirituality, fairies, divination, healing, inspiration. Ruled by the sun and Mercury and the element of fire. In that fact that we specifically went for, because we already had the elder, we went for a couple of trees that went with it. So it was hawthorn and rowan. They seem to make quite a nice triad of magical trees, really. Seems to work. What else have we got, Louise? What about the mulberry tree? I don't have anything written down about the mulberry tree because it's quite an unusual one, but there will be folklore about it because it's quite an old tree. Anything that's not written down, or even if it is, if you have a tree that you want to, if you have a tree that you want to connect with, literally connect with it. I'm giving you lists of things that I've taken from folklore, from my workings with them, from traditional magical connections with them, the doctrine of signatures, going back to Culpeper and all of that gang. But it might not resonate with you. And actually, every tree will be different. Each tree is an individual. It will have its own personality, its own characteristic. So if you want to work with a mulberry tree, if you've got a mulberry tree, sit with it. Sit with it, connect with the energies, see what it can provide you with, see what advice, support, inspiration it gives you. Also look at the way a tree grows, where it grows, how it grows, the color of any flowers, the berries or fruit that it might produce, and see what magical intent and inspiration you get from that as well. Cliff, fir trees haven't been mentioned. No, not Christmas trees. Folklore around Yule and the fir tree, or of course the Yule log, is probably one for when it's colder. Pine is one that we are quite attracted to, myself, Ness and Heather, because when we were looking at narrowing down our ingredients for magical working, although we love frankincense and myrrh and all of the resins, we wanted something that was more UK-centric, and pine resin fit the bill. So we have actually been working with pine quite a lot because that's now the resin that we use in any of our incense blends. We also pine needles. If you can get hold of the really big long ones, you can make a fantastic smudge stick out of them. So pine, very magical again, but it's too hot for your logs. David, this folk tales about the mulberry tree. Here we go around the mulberry bush, isn't it? Songs about it. Looking into the old nursery rhymes about trees is always a good start. Yes, I think folklore is always a good start for any research. Whether it's trees, plants, deities, whatever it might be, go back to the oldest source of information you can find. And quite often that is folklore. You will find it incredibly useful. So yeah, that's my challenge for you. Xenia, pine is also one of my comfy trees. I think they're very magical. We have got a tiny little pine tree in the garden. It's about that big. It was a Christmas tree, like one of the little pot Christmas trees last year. Planted it in the garden. Cliff, giant redwood trees have an extraordinary energy that differs from native trees, very strong. Yes, I can imagine. I don't want one in my garden though, because it would take up the entire garden. My challenge, find a tree this week. Find a tree. If you can't get out, look at pictures of trees or videos of trees on the internet. and see what resonates with you, see what you can connect with, or meditate and put yourself in a grove and see what tree shouts to you. Probably not shouting, because they don't think trees really shout. Very bit slow and dignified for that. But make a connection. It will be magical. So there you go. We have an Ellen ritual online in September, free and open to everyone. We have a new shenanigans, online shenanigans in November. More details will follow. And Xenia, is wisteria a tree or a bush? Kind of a cross. It's kind of a climbing tree, if that's the thing. Beautiful though. My parents used to live in a cottage that was covered in it. So yeah, lots happening. There will also be an announcement this weekend about new things that are happening at Kitchen Witch. So watch out on social media for that. Otherwise, enjoy your trees. If you've got any photographs of trees near you, or wonderful trees, or anything you would like to share tree-wise, do pop it on the Kitchen Witch Facebook group, which is now called the KW Magical Community. All changes, but we'd love to see your photos, your tree photos. So have a great week and try and stay cool. Thanks everyone, take care.